So we're going to be playing Astro Knights. I picked out two characters, and what we're going to do is as we play, because this is a new game to the channel, we're going to kind of talk about how it plays, similarities to maybe some of the games you may see frequently on the channel, and kind of walk through and beat up on Furion over here. I chose two asymmetrical powers, and we're going to play this two-handed. There are ways that you can play this troop solo. However, we're going to play it two-handed because I think that, one, a lot of the interactions in this game is really interesting, and I like having I want to show off two people. Hey Jeremiah, how's it going? Hello Twitch, hello YouTube. Yes, hello everybody. Astro Knights Eternity is pretty great. Good, yes. So this is the core box. Astro Knights Eternity just was delivered to a lot of the Kickstarter backers, and I got it. I have not opened it quite yet, but my wife and I are playing through everything in the core set, and I think we have one more. I think there's one more. I don't quite remember what they call it, Big Bad, that we have to play through in the core set, and then we're going to break out Eternities, and so I'm really excited, but yeah, Astro Knights is great. The goal here, pretty simple. Kill the boss. All we have to do, it's very simple, is reduce the boss's health, which is currently at 60. Right there. 60. All the way down to 0. Before we both die, or Nasarin, which is our home world, is reduced to 0. Nasarin starts at 27, and this is one of the big changes from Aeon's End. In Aeon's End, Greyfold has a set amount of health and no power. However, in Astro Knights, you actually do get to choose an asymmetrical power for your homeworld. And so the theming here is that we are protecting this homeworld against the invader Furion. We have different powers, and we have a different deck. This is a deck building game, which means that we are going to be adding and modifying our deck in game from these supply piles over here. So we're going to be able to buy these cards, put them into our deck, and then kind of grow. And that's the power growth of the game. One of the coolest things about this game is you never shuffle your deck. So it's wild, but you never ever shuffle your deck. And so whenever you need to draw more cards, you just take your discard pile, flip it over, and you can draw, which means that you can set up some pretty interesting combos pretty reliably. And so that's pretty fun. And yeah, perfect. I chose Christina and Zach to play. I think Zach is actually one of the ones that they say to play with first, but my wife and I just played this combo right here, Christina and Zach, and they work so well together, and we had so much fun that I was like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. So to kind of give you an idea, Zach is going to be our weapons person, and if you've played Aeon's End, you have spells. In Astro Knights, space theme, you have weapons. And so Zach is going to be about dealing damage. That's what we're going to be working on with Zach. He has 10 health. This is this track here. If we get reduced to 0, we do not lose, but we start taking damage to our home world if we would ever take damage. So we take 2x the damage to the home world that we would take on Zach. Random supply I kind of prefer versus interesting. Ooh, I'm happy to have that conversation because I like Aeon's End and being able to set the supply. I like that a lot. What I like about Astro Knights and the fact that it's a random supply is I love the fact that it is so easy to set up and play. Like, I set this game up on stream in no time. It took no time. So I just learned that boss battler is more used in board games. Although it's not a genre on BGG, it would be a useful tag, though. I 100% agree with that. I've never have connected those dots, but I feel like that's pretty much the games I play on this channel, and boss battler feels like that. I mean, like we played Ashes earlier today, Aeon's End, Marvel Champions, even like Lord of the Rings to some extent. I think that's a really good description of a lot of these games. Nice. So health is over here. We both have 10 health. We have our weapon slots, which we can increase by paying 3 energy, I believe that they are called. So we can pay 3 energies to increase our weapons. Weapons are basically what's going to happen and the damage that we can do on our next turn, because the turn structure looks like weapon phase, then your player phase. During your player phase, you can play weapons out, which will then attack later. So we have currently one weapon slot, meaning that we can have one weapon on the table at a time. However, if we increase this all up to 4, we can have up to 4 weapons. We have a power and a power over here. This is a special power. This is an asymmetrical power that each one of these characters is going to have. So Christina's says that we can activate during our main phase. Any ally gains the top weapon of any supply deck and places it on top of their deck. And now this is really fun because you get some of these really expensive weapons. Like the first or the biggest weapon that we have out here right now is the Vibrax. Deal 6 damage, power up, and the homeworld powers up. So we could just get that instead of paying 7, which is the cost right here. We could spend our 5 charges and put this on top of Zach's deck. And now Zach, who wants to have weapons, gets weapons. So then Zach's ability, which powers up at 4. Christina's at 5. So on 4, activate during your main phase. Attack with up to 2 of your weapons without discarding them. So the flow looks like Christina's going to get Zach all the epic weapons, and then Zach is going to be able to use them multiple times. It's going to be awesome. I'm so excited. Hey, Just Ray, hope everyone's doing good. So Astro Knights is akin, similar to Aeon's End, correct? Absolutely correct. I've described it as Aeon's End 2.0. I don't know if that's necessarily true. It's very, very, very similar. The main differences, if you have played Aeon's End, is that Gravehold or your homeworld is asymmetric, both in health and abilities, and instead of picking a supply, you have a deck that is all different cards, and whenever you buy a card, the next one becomes available. Also, I think there's some balancing stuff with the monster here. So that's the goal. That's the goal, is we're gonna get a lot of weapons over here for Zach. Furion starts with 60 health. He is the intro level kind of big bad in the core box, and so if I lose, you all are allowed to mock me for eternity. But Furion, at the end of the boss's turn, if the artillery track, which is up here, which starts at 0, is at 3 or higher, perform the following: draw and resolve the top card of the artillery deck, then place it in the artillery discard pile. Decrease the artillery track by 3, repeat until it is less than 3, and it cannot decrease past 0. Just right. Sorry if you had just explained it. I'm like, no. Ask questions. That's what we're here for. That's the whole point. Please ask as many questions as you want. So that's Furion, 60 health. One of the cool things about the differences in Aeon's End and Astro Knights is in Aeon's End, they're like modular sets that you can add into the boss's deck, which can make it different, weird, and all of that. That's gone away in Astro Knights. It is a boss deck, and the number of players that you have, you always play with the same cards, but the number of players you have dictates what starts in the deck. So you can see all of these have a less or a higher than 2 player count on them, which means that they just start in the discard pile, because whenever this deck runs out, the boss levels up. So we got level 2 and then level 3. Bosses and minions are going to get stronger. So it just levels up quicker, because I think from what I have experienced is lower player counts in this game, especially 2-player, is more powerful. You're able to level up because you're going to be taking 2 turns per round rather than 1. Do you have Eternity as well? I do have Eternity. Eternity is sitting downstairs. I have not yet opened it because my wife and I are playing through the entire core box before we break into Eternity, and we have one more to play. But I'm really pumped. I've heard really solid things about Eternity. Another thing that is similar to Aeon's End is it is a randomized turn order, which means that we have this turn order deck, player 1, player 2, and the boss's turn. So we're going to shuffle this up every single round, and we're going to flip, and whatever card we flip, that's whose turn it takes. So it is very likely, or not very likely, it is very possible, I should say, that you take 2 turns in a row, or the boss takes 2 turns in a row, or if you get very unlucky, the boss takes 2, and this has happened, and then you shuffle it up, and then the boss takes 2 more turns. That's not super great. Oh, nice. I really enjoyed the first scenario. Looking forward to continuing the campaign. Nice. Yes, that's awesome. Yeah. Hey, NCP. How's it going? Welcome. So we'll shuffle this all up and we'll I guess get started. I don't think there's much. Oh, I didn't explain Nasarin. Nasarin, you can power up your homeworld, and once it reaches 3 power up, and I think this is visible enough on stream. You can activate during any player's main phase. Players collectively power up 5 times. And so this was also a little bit of cheese here, because if we power up 5 times on Christina, then we can get the top weapon. Zach can then go crazy with their damage. We are starting with 27 health on Nasarin. You do start with a opening hand, which is determined by the back of these sheets, and I have all the stuff in it. I'll show you a different one. How about that? So here's Garville. So Garville has kind of like all of his information as well as his starting hand and deck. Looks sick. Or slick. I wonder if the new Aeons in The Descent will share mechanics. It's coming to GameFound on February 6th. They've supported the heck out of that game. Well, there goes more money out of my bank account. I love Aeons in. I played the Legacy version. I really enjoyed that. And we just finished, my wife and I usually have a Legacy game going on. Or I guess that's the goal that we're trying to have. We just finished Pandemic Legacy Season 0. And we're going back to Frosthaven. And I think after we do like Frosthaven in chunks. So I think after our next chunk of Frosthaven, we're going to be doing Legacy of Gravehold. But I'm excited for anything and everything Aeons in. Alrighty. So I'm gonna lean a little bit. Hopefully. That's fine. Okay, so Ballistic Array costs 4. Equip, on equip, you get to deal a damage. On attack, deal 3 damage. The particle, attack, deal 4 damage. You can destroy a card in your hand. Destroying cards is pretty good in deck builders. I always like the Chapel in Dominion being like one of the most OP cards. Where I think it's just trash 3 cards. I think I've decided that I like Astro Knights more at this point. There's so much Aeons, and there's a ton of Aeons, and I hope that they support Astro Knights as much as they have supported Aeons. And then we got the Vibrax, which is deal 6 damage, power up, the homeworld powers up. I think that this is going to be really important for us to get at some point. We have the Heliosphere, gain 2 energy, or I can destroy this card and gain a weapon that costs 5 or less. The Antimatter Current, gain 3 energy. This costs 5. You may destroy this card, or you may destroy the top card of any supply deck. And then I think one of my favorite things about Astro Knights is actually the tech cards. So you can buy the tech cards. So this one says like targeting sync, attack with any player's weapon without discarding it. That seems actually really good for Christina. I kind of wish we saw this a little bit later, but the targeting sync, you can buy this. Or you actually have the option of overcharging the tech. And what that means is you can pay the cost of the tech, which is 6, and use it as an immediate benefit. And say, I'm doing that, you take the benefit, then you put it on the bottom of the deck and reveal the next card. So if there is something that maybe you don't want in your deck, or it doesn't have a lot of like symbiotic bonds inside your deck, but it's a good one-off effect, that's a good way to do it. I think that's a really cool mechanic. I'm happy about that. It kind of reminds me of the events in Dominion. And just like that, it is time to go. We'll continue to explain as we go through. Yeah, Astro Knights feels a bit easier to table than Aeons in, but some people may not enjoy the stream. Oh yeah, not enjoy the stream. Culling cards, greater than card draw in my opinion when it comes to deck building. You get both with them. Hot diggity. I'm yet to buy a tech. Oh really? Okay. Yeah. I've bought few techs, but I really like the events of them. They're really fun. Alrighty. Let's go. Who's taking our first turn? Player 2. Player 2 is Zach here. So Zach is going to take his first turn. We're going to look at his opening hands. He has the Tectonic Repeater. Attack, deal 1 damage. You may return a weapon card in your discard pile to your hand. The Blaster, and then 3 power cores. So we're going to spend 3 power cores. 3 energy, and these actually technically go like into an in-play area. So if I bought a card, it would be the first one on the discard pile. We're going to spend 3 to increase our slots. So now we can have 2 weapons. Then we're going to play both the blaster and the tectonic repeater. These go right here. And then we draw back up to 5. Power core, power core, power core, power core, blaster. Next up, we've got a boss's turn. So we would look here and see if there's any in-play abilities. There are not. And so we're going to draw the top card of the deck here, which is Wrath the Conqueror. This has 5 health. Any player suffers 1 damage, or the players collectively discard 2 cards. This is on an activate. So when I say we look here to see if there's anything happening, that's when we do it. If Furion is level 2 or higher, do both. So this guy is here. He has 5 health. I forgot to get out our health. I usually use dice, but we're going to do this today. Okay. Next up, we got player 1. That's going to be Christina. Christina has an Asylum. Gain 1 energy. You may attack with any player's weapon. Place that weapon in the player's discard pile. We got a blaster, a power core, and a power core. So we got 4 money. Let's go ahead and put a blaster. We do have 1 weapon slot, so we'll put that there. You don't have to use the weapon if you don't want to. And usually, sometimes what I'll do, especially on a support character, is leave that blaster out there because that culls the card. It's effectively trashing the card for a little bit. And so I'll use it if there's a minion because minions are really annoying and I don't want to deal with them. But sometimes I'll just let that go. And then we got 4. We've got an Asylum. I actually don't know if this matters to deal damage here. I enjoy that you equip weapons to the breach area. Ooh, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was called that. That's fun. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually would not mind less expansions for Astro Knights, so it'll make an easier jumping on point to the system. Aeon's End, I think, is over at 4,000 cards at this point. Hey, Griffin, how's it going? I think that Astro Knights is set up to be easier to jump into regardless of how many expansions they have, because in Eternity, these supply decks, they have these supply decks and you just swap them in and out. And so you're not curating a specific set of cards. If you have a supply deck with this icon, you play with that supply deck and you can play with any of the supply decks that you want. And so I mean, it's a consideration, but I think it is easier to not buy everything in Astro Knights than it is in Aeon's End. Ron Talks Tabletop is one of my new favorites. It's really fun. It's really, really fun. I have 4 money. I think I'm going to go ahead and buy the Heliosphere. So this is gain 2 money, or I can destroy this card to gain a weapon that costs 5 or less. I kind of wish I had enough to go here, but I don't. This goes right there. And then we can discard these in any order. So we're going to put the Asylum here on top. This next card gets revealed. Solaricel. When you buy it, the homeworld powers up. You get 2 money when you pay for it. Broken, what's up? How's it going? How you doing? And then we've got power core, and a blaster. Next up is player 1. So we get that double turn, which is pretty exciting. Okay, what are we doing? We're gonna go ahead and use a blaster to take this down to 4 health. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and equip this blaster. And we've got 4 money. I think I may buy the Solaricel. I think so. I think money at this point is what we want to be doing. So let's go ahead and buy the Solaricel. On a purchase of this, we get to power up the home world. And we got that. Since we are going to be drawing cards and we have an empty deck, we take our discard pile, turn it face down, and now we draw. So we're going to kind of see, you know, the cards that we've set up, right? We put these on the bottom of the discard pile, which means that they're now on the top of the deck. So you can see how you can start to manipulate what your hand is going to be, and it gets really fun real quick. Hey Nelson, not to keep distracting, please keep distracting, but have you ever done play livestream of Earthborn Rangers? I'm tempted to back the revised edition. Yes, I've done a couple of them actually. Fantastic, fantastic game. Highly, highly recommend it. Yes. um, yeah, it's really good. Actually, it was sitting right there, and literally an hour ago, I moved it and put Ashes there because I was like, ooh, Final Girl looks really cool in the space that Ashes was just at. So it's been over my shoulder for the last couple of streams, yeah. Next up, we've got player 2. So we're going to blast her here and deal a damage to Wrath the Conqueror. We're going to Tectonic Repeater. Attack, deal a damage. You may return a weapon from your discard pile to your hand. We'll take the blaster. Now, we have 2 slots. We got 2 blasters. It is annoying that this will hit us because we know this last card is the boss, but that's what we got. Oh, forgot to turn this up. We got Stellar Wake. Gain 2 money. Any ally may discard a card to power up. What's this? Another game to get addicted to? That's the goal. Yes. This is Astro Knights. If you've ever heard of Aeon's End, it's kind of very similar. Dang it. There's too many card games. Also, why did you say Final Girl Season 3? Late Play just open too? Oh, yeah. No, I backed Final Girl Season 3. I'm excited. Yeah, this game is less of a money pit than I think a lot of the games that I play on the channel. Alrighty, we're going to spend 4 here to buy the Ballistic Array. This is on equip, deal 1 damage. On attack, deal 3 damage. But that's going to be some really nice minion control there. And we got these 4 to cover right there. And next up is the Disruptor Pistol. Attack, deal 2 damage. You can destroy the top card of any supply deck. This is new to me, but I'm really digging the artwork and vibe. Yeah, the artwork is very good. Like it feels... The colors are really interesting, and it feels futuristic, which is great. I like it. I like it a lot. So we know that this is the boss. So we're going to check here and resolve left to right. Activate. Any player suffers 1 damage, or the players collectively discard 2 cards. We're going to have... Why not? Christina's going to suffer a damage. If Furion is level 2 or higher, do both. He is not. Furion, I guess they. I don't necessarily know if he's a he. Furion is going to draw the top card, which is the Titan Barrage. Pretty sick artwork there. This is a strike. This means it's an immediate effect. Unlike a minion, it's going to hit us and then go away. The player with the most slots suffers 2 damage and discards a card in hand. Increase the artillery track by 1. So 2 damage, and we have to discard a card in hand, which we never drew up. Oops. 2, 4, 5. We will discard a power core. Speaking of money caverns, there's always Kingdom Death Monster you could play on the channel. Oh my gosh, I've heard really mixed reviews about KDM. And I think with mixed reviews and like the entry level being like $300, I don't think I've ever looked at it too much. Have you played it? Okay. There we go. So now we're going to shuffle this up because we're done. Alrighty. I didn't sleeve this. I did sleeve my Aeon's End because I bought... My initial buy of Aeon's End was like a used collection, which was already sleeved, and so I ended up sleeving it. But you don't shuffle these cards, so I didn't sleeve it. The only cards I did sleeve were the turn order cards. Speaking of, oh, we got player 1, Christina. Do we have a blaster in our hand? We don't have a blaster in our hand, but we do have an Asylum. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go blaster here, deal a damage. And then we're going to play Asylum, and we can attack with any player's weapon. It's going to be the blaster here, which is going to be the last damage here. Get rid of that. The other nice thing, and the other kind of interesting thing about this, because of the level up system, instead of like the thick deck that you would play in Aeon's End, the level up system actually means that if you can get cards here before you deck out, then you have more time before the next level up because you're going to shuffle all of these cards. So it's very important to get cards into the discard pile before you deck out, which, yeah, it can come back and bite you in the butt. So 1, 2, or we can destroy this to gain a weapon that costs 5 or less. The particle cannon is really interesting because not only does it do a lot of damage, and I think we will want to see some damage over here at some points. We're not just going to rely on Zach for damage, but it's also going to help us cure our like curate our deck a little bit because it's going to allow us to destroy a card in our hand. The other thing is that we have 4 or we have 6. So we have 6. We actually have targeting sync, which is kind of interesting. We may just buy that, and that actually may be better if we just buy this and then have Zach bag the card particle cannon. At the trade-off of seeing the minions again. That's very true. That's very true, Dan. I have not, and yeah, it's a bit of a high entry and divisive game. The people that love it, love it. And how's the card quality? The art I'm seeing, but I'm a notorious Leafs. The card quality is what I would say very adequate. It's not good. It's not great. Or it's not bad. It's not great. Okay, so I don't want to go. I think I want to go targeting sync. I think it's a little bit over what I need right now, but I think it's going to pay off in the long run. Or I could buy the antimatter current. We're gonna buy this actually because that's not going anywhere. So we're gonna buy that, and it's gonna set us up to do some massive buys here in the future. Alrighty, we got 2, 4, 5. Leave 1 card. Alrighty, we got Solar Cell, Blaster, Power Core. Sweet. Next up, we got the boss's turn. Minion's not there anymore, so we're going to draw. We got another strike. The homeworld suffers 3 damage. Increase the artillery track by 1. I was supposed to increase it last time. I didn't, so we're going to increase it now. We're going to go down to 24 damage, or 24 health on Nasarin. Next up, player 2. Zach. Since we do have... oh, I had to discard a card. Yeah, that stinks. I was like, it would be really nice to get another slot at some point. But we'll go ahead and blaster our way here. First blood, down to 59. He doesn't stand a chance. We got him. We will equip, deal a damage here. So 58. We will play the Tectonic Repeater. And then with our 2 money, I think with our 2 money, we're going to actually power up. Just start getting a little bit. And I like Aeons in Astro Knights a lot, that you have multiple uses for your money. I think that's one of the more interesting things about the game, because at some points, like in Dominion, you have to figure out when you stop ramping. And when you stop ramping, that's when you start buying victory cards, which is going to dilute your deck, which then makes it less efficient, less optimal. Whereas here, you can always pump it in, and you can spend money into advancing the game state, which is not diluting your deck. And so I think that's pretty cool. So Zach's going to power up there and draw his 5 cards. So we got 4. We'll flip 5. All power cores. Cool. And we got the Chronoplasm. 2 money. Any ally draws a card. Next up, we've got player 2 again. Okay, so we're going to attack, deal 3 damage. Down to 55. The Tectonic Repeater is going to deal a damage, and then we're going to return the Ballistic Array to our hand. I really like Zach. I think Zach's a lot of fun. Then, especially with this combo, then we're going to equip and deal a damage. It's back in our hand. And we've got 5 money. Okay. With the 5 money, we're going to buy the Particle Cannon, which is the one that deals 4 damage, and we can destroy a card in our hand. Dude, can't wait to play Zach and Zach. Yeah, there is a new Zach in Eternity. Yeah, there's a new Zach in Eternity. I opened Eternity and I thumbed through it a little bit, but I tried to save some spoilers for me, so I don't know what he does. But does he look cool? We got the Scatter Beam. This costs 6. Attack, deal 2 damage. Increase that damage by 2 for each other weapon you have equipped. Okay, well, that looks pretty exciting for Zach. He does. Haven't played with him yet. Nice. That's fun. We got player 1. We don't have any weapons equipped. We will go ahead and equip a blaster. And we're going to go 2, 4, 5. You are not your own ally in these games. So when it says any ally draws a card, if I buy it with Christina, that would always be Zach. If I was playing true solo, I do believe you're counted as your same ally. Nelson, evening stream. Hey, Roland Reggie, how's it going? How you doing? Holy, 2 streams in one day. Let's go. Yeah, Wednesdays I like to do winner chicken dinner. Let's go. Yeah, I'm trying to do more like non big 3 streams Wednesday evenings. Wednesday evenings are kind of my most free evening, and so pretty hopefully doing that. I think I'm gonna call it a series, board games I think you'll like. So what did I do? Oh no, I have 5. We're gonna buy the Chronoplasm, get Zach some card draw because Christina is here to support Zach. And that's going to reveal the Antimatter Current. So we've seen that before. Hey. And then we got a Power Core, Blaster, Antimatter Current, Heliosphere, and the Asylum. Woo! Okay, let's go. Boss's turn. So we're going to draw here. This is a minion, the Titan Land Rover. It comes in with 4 health. When the Titan Land Rover is defeated, destroy it. That means you have to rip it up. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a legacy. Activate any player suffers 2 damage. Comes in with 4 health. Glad you played this one, though. This was another game I was researching. It's really fun. I'm having a ton of fun with it. Solo Marvel Champions. This looks interesting and colorful. Is it a deck builder? It is a deck builder. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so what do you all call... What's your definition of a deck builder as compared to a like Marvel Champions? I call them deck construction and deck building games, right? Like deck building games, I consider games that you're building your deck or like crafting your deck inside the game state. Deck construction is where you bring a pre-built deck to the game state. But it's weird that there's like different weird things. Even though there's synonyms, that's how I've just kind of always said it. Yeah, I'm all good for solo card games. Also, could always take a break from mini heavy games that I, of course, will want to paint. Ooh, yeah. I agree with your assessment. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is a deck building game, whereas Ashes, which we played earlier, was a deck construction game. So, cool. Now we pull in level 2. Level 2? Instant minions in play gain 4 health. And as an ongoing benefit, all of our minions now have 4 extra health. On the activate, we increase our artillery track by 1. So now every single time we draw a boss card, we're increasing our artillery track. Cool. I want to find some cards that allow me to start powering up this homeworld, because that's going to get our engine up and revving. Wolf the Medic. Yeah, I think Champions, Lord of the Ring, Arkham are the only unique ones to my knowledge. All their deck building happen. I think like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh! Fall into that. As well as like Ashes, Earthborn Rangers, those types of things. And I think to even some extent, not necessarily the same. I don't know if I would use the same definition. But like Heroescape or like army builders feel very similar to me in that. Oh yeah. Oh, I got you. He wasn't counting TCGs. Yeah, I think the other 2 ones would be, in that case, would be Ashes and Earthborn Rangers are the ones that I know. And then all the dead competitive LCGs. Alrighty, what do we got? What do we got here? We got player 1. Let's go. That I don't like. I don't like that. Let's go 1 here. We're gonna have to pick this thing off slowly, I think. We'll equip a blaster. We're gonna go with Salium. We're gonna attack with here. So that's gonna deal 3 damage. Down to 4. We got 3, 6, 7. We're going to take the Vibrex. So this is deal 6 damage, power up, the homeworld powers up, which is going to because we bought this, anytime we activate this, we're going to get closer to getting Zach more weapons. I don't know anything about Ashes or Earthborn. So Ashes and Earthborn work more like Champions and Lord of the Rings. Yeah, very much. Yeah. I would say Ashes, Red Rains, they just put out a cooperative expansion, which is kind of what I was referencing there. Ashes is more like Marvel Champions, where it's like a skirmish kind of mode, and Earthborn is a lot more like Arkham, where it's kind of a campaign driven. What's our... Ooh, that's upside down. Oh my goodness, I shuffled the cards in and upside down. Oops. Next card was, and is, the Scrambler. Equip, return a fuel you play to your hand on attack, deal 6 damage. That's going to be really fun for Zach, because we don't have a ton of fuel cards, which is our money cards. We don't have a ton of money cards with Zach. And so since we have the Tectonic Repeater, we can just we can equip, get money, play money, and stuff like that. How does Astro Knights differ from Star Realms and Star Wars deck building game? So it's cooperative. Star Realms and Star Wars deck building are competitive games, and it plays up to 4 players. I think you can play 4 players in Star Realms, maybe, but I think it's mainly a head-to-head. But other than that, they're fairly similar, actually. I would say Astro Knights is more similar because you have a dynamic market up here. Whereas Aeon's End, it's a set market. So you would pick like 9 cards, and it's a stack of the same cards. Do I like Astro more than Aeon's? I like Aeon's End probably more, but it's not a given that yes, I like this more. Technically, that's supposed to be there because I never drew my opening hand. But I think I like Aeon's End more, but Astro Knights definitely has its merits. It's very good. Is this the second one? No, this is the core set. This is the core set. Come on, not the boss. It is the boss. Okay. So increase the artillery track by 1. So we are at 3, so things are going to happen. Any player suffers 2 damage. Let's go ahead and put that on Christina, take her down to 7. And then we're going to draw a card. We've got a strike. The homeworld suffers 4 damage. Ow. Down to 20. And then, at the end of the boss's turn, if the artillery track is 3 or higher, draw the top and resolve. The homeworld suffers 2 damage. Any player suffers 1 damage. It's going to be Zach down to 7. Homeworld suffers 2, down to 18. Then we reduce the artillery track by 3, and we would continue to do that until we are under 3. So if something throws the artillery track really high, we could actually be resolving multiple of these cards if we're unlucky. Alrighty, here's to not drawing another boss turn. Player 2, let's go. Again, we're stuck with 2 money, which is not how much money I want to be stuck with. I need to increase Zach's slots. We're starting to get weapon clogged here, where I only have 2. I can only equip 2 weapons, and I have 3 weapons in my hand. You can discard in this game, and so we'll go Tectonic Repeater, Blaster, and then we got 2, which we will power up here. Then we'll discard like that. Alrighty, come on, come on. Give me number 2 again. Boss's turn. So we'll increase the artillery track. Any player suffers 2 damage. Ugh. Let's go Christina, just because I remember there was a card in there that said whoever had the most weapon slots suffers. So if there's any non-conditional damage, I'm probably throwing it on Christina. And then we'll draw a card. Ooh, what is this? This is Astro Knights. This is a deck building game, cooperative deck building game. It's fun. Random activation order that I don't see any shuffling. I'll have to look at. You definitely should. No shuffling, so that's very strategic in ways in terms of like how you buy and how you are going to be activating and placing cards. But then random turn order is also really fun because now I'm looking at this. I have a little bit. I can build up a little tempo here, right? So I'm gonna have 2 friendly turns before the boss even remotely has a chance to take a turn. So how are we going to play with that? Because both the boss cards are here, so we know player 1 and player 2 get to take a turn. Is it bad when you're flipping card close to the camera? I expect a Shadow of the Past reveal. And we got a fire support specialist. This is a minion. Activate, increase the artillery track by 1. If Furion is level 3, any player suffers 3 damage. This comes in with 10 health because all of our minions get plus 4 health. Alrighty, we got a scale. We got a scale now. Player 2. It's going to be Zach. We're going to draw our hand because we forgot to do that. We're going to Tectonic Repeater. 1 damage here. We get to return a weapon card from the discard to our hand. So we're going to take the Ballistic Array. And we are going to shoot Blaster to take here. Minion control is huge. Alrighty, we've got enough to increase our slots. So are we going to be smart about it or are we not? Probably not. Let's be honest. We're going to equip a Ballistic Array, deal a damage. We're going to equip a Particle Cannon. So deal 4 damage. I may destroy a card in our hand. And then we've got short-term gain versus long-term benefit here. We could power up twice and then attack with both of these weapons, dealing 7 damage and not discarding them. We know we're taking out the Land Rover. I think we have to do that. We're going to spend 4. We're not going to be able to destroy a card in hand, but we're going to spend 4, increase these, and activate this during our main phase. Attack with 2 of our weapons, and we're going to throw 7 damage here. Now we have lethal if we can draw Zach before the minion, which is going to be nice. Love your YouTube videos. Oh, thank you so very much. Welcome to the live stream. I appreciate you. Thank you. And that's going to come back and bite us in the butt because we did not increase our slots. But why not, right? It'll be fine. We know that this is going to be Christina. We're going to blast here. That actually gets destroyed. So that's nice. Two, 4, 6, 7. We have 7. Oh, check this out. This is going to be fun. Okay, so we're going to go 2. 4. Any ally draws a card. So we got 2. That's it. So Zach's going to draw his blaster. So that's 4, 5, 6. We're going to overcharge this tech. So we're going to pay the tech. We're going to get the benefit of the tech. And we're going to put it on the bottom. So it says attack with any player's weapon without discarding it. We're going to attack with the Particle Cannon, which deals 4 damage. We're going to take out here. And then I may discard a card in hand. We're going to get rid of one of these power cores. Start culling that deck. Next tech, Psionic Tether. The homeworld powers up twice. It's going to be challenging not to buy. Because every time we play that, or every other time we play that, Zach gets a weapon. That seems kind of fun. Christina's got 3 power cores. And give me something good. Oh, the Vibrex. Yeah, that's right. Sick. Furion's at 53. What I kind of realized about like these Aeons and Astro Knights type games is that at some point you have to call your shot and start going for blood. And when that is I think some of the more exciting decision making in this game, because at some point you're going to have to ignore minions, and instead of taking out the, what was it, the 18 health worth of minions, I could have taken Furion down to 35. But the long-term negative impact of leaving those minions out outweighs that. But at some point that scale is going to tip, and we have to figure out when that is. And oh, it's exciting. Alrighty, come on. I guess that honestly at this point, I kind of want Furion to go. I think Furion going right now would give us some information to react to, which, hey, he does. Nice. So decrease the artillery track. We're going to draw into. The player with the most slots suffers 2 damage and discards a card in hand. Increase the artillery track by 1. So 2 damage. We have to discard a card in our hand. We're going to discard a blaster. And yeah. Now, this decreases. Artillery deck goes. Homeworld suffers 4 damage. Oh. Down to 14. All right, now I don't want him to go. Player 2, perfect. Alrighty. We are going to attack and deal 4 damage to Furion, taking him down to 49. Boom, just like that. 49. We can destroy a card in our hand. We're going to destroy our blaster. We're going to deal 3 damage, taking him down to 46. We're going to equip a Tectonic Repeater. We're going to spend 3 to finally up our slots. Told you I'd do it. We got 4 cards, 4 cells, and a blaster. We got to get Christina up and running. Get Zach some sweet, sweet weapons. Which I think we're probably close to being there. I think the only thing that we could potentially look at buying at this point is the Power Tether. But I think we can start just dumping a lot of our money into powering up. We got player 1. Christina has. We're going to equip the Vibrex. We also have that. That also helps us power up, which is nice. We're going to spend 3, increase our slots, and throw the blaster out there. We'll probably leave the blaster and let that float for a while just to thin our deck. Destroy means to remove from play, right? Is that to thin what options you possibly draw? Yes. Yes. What's the theme of this game? It's futuristic space sci-fi type theming, and we are warriors. Maybe not warriors. We are people trying to protect our homeworld against an invading force. We've got 2, 4, 5. Blaster, Power Core, Celium, Heliosphere, and Antimatter Current. The Tectonic Repeater. That kind of hurts. Not having a discard pile. Probably could have played around with that a little bit better, but here we are. We've got a boss's turn. Increase the artillery track. We've got a strike. Increase the artillery track by 2. Any player discards a card in hand that costs 1 or more. We will discard the Heliosphere. Looks a little like Borderlands, which isn't a bad... It does have Borderlands vibes. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Decrease this. The player with the lowest health suffers 2 damage. So we have a tie, so we'll give that to Christina. We need healing. Healing is pretty rare. Thought the same thing. Yeah. I never made that connection, but I totally see it. Yeah. Is this an FFG release? No, this is... Oh, I don't actually... Oh, this is Indie Boards and Cards. Indie Boards and Cards. Same people who do Terraforming Mars? Stronghold? I don't really know the relationship there. They're at the same booth at at cons. Okay, we have one turn each. So we got a player 1. I'm gonna deal 6 damage. Take us down to 40. We get to power up, and the homeworld gets to power up. Let's go. Sick. We're gonna leave that out there. We're gonna leave that out there. Non-shuffling aspect actually makes the game both harder but more strategic in order for you to put the cards in the discard, which gains more. I think that it is really interesting, and yeah, I like it a lot. We're gonna throw another blaster out there. We've got 3. We got 5. Ooh, okay. We could destroy the top card of any supply deck if we wanted to. We could... we could overcharge the Psionic Tether. Homeworld powers up twice. We could get... ooh, that's a tempting thought. Let's do that. We're gonna overcharge the Psionic Tether. The homeworld powers up twice. We're gonna lose one of that. We're gonna lose that efficiency. I think it's gonna help us in the long run. We got the buyout converter. You may destroy a card in your hand or a discard pile. An ally may draw a card and then discard a card. We're gonna go ahead and activate this. So the players may power up collectively 5 times. We'll spend 4 of them here and 1 of them in Zach. Then we're going to spend the 5 resources that we just gained. It's all coming together. Activate during your main phase. Any ally gains the top weapon from the supply deck and places it on top of their deck. We got the Scrambler. Sick. Equip. Return a fuel card played this turn to your hand. Attack. Deal 6 damage. See, in Spartan, I'm sure someone has said this, but there's another box coming out next month for this game. Oh, is there? I know. Is that the Eternity? I know the Kickstarter delivered, and maybe it's going to retail soon. I think Stronghold bought them, but operate as a separate entity, kind of like Asmodean. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I really liked your first scenario playthrough of Arkham Horror LCG. Oh, good. I just started playing the game solo, which is how I found your channel. I also have Lord of the Rings LCG, but have not played that in a while. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful, and I hope you have a fantastic time with Arkham. It's such a good game. Yeah. How many heroes and villains are the proper turn that come in the core box? So one of these villains is not from the core box. I have one of the mini expansions. I think it's just one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 villains, and I think 2 of these heroes came in that expansion. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I think 4 and 6. I may be off. 4 and 6 plus or minus 1. Yes. Okay. Cool. Oh, so the piles are randomized and not all a stack of the same cards. Yeah, I might have this on the wish list now. It reminds me of Epic Thunderstorm. Yeah, and they are distributed by cost. So these are the cheapest, most expensive, and then these are costs anywhere from 3 to 7. So cool. That was fun. I enjoyed that turn. I enjoyed that turn a lot because now it's player 2's turn. We're going to leave the Tectonic Repeater. There's no need for us to throw 1 damage right now. Alrighty. We'll go 1 for the blaster, 2 for the show. We've got 4 money. We're going to power up twice. Thanks, I'm intrigued. Oh, good, yeah. I was going to play Sleeping Gods tonight, but I guess I'll play 2 games Eternity. Thanks, Nelson. You're welcome. Okay, we're shuffling this up. We got 4. Our 5th one there. We got 1, 2, 4, 5. Our big gun now. Oh, we got all of our big guns together, which may not be the greatest with Tectonic Repeater, but maybe that's an issue. I don't know. That would be future Zach's problem, not current Zach's problem. I feel like we're getting slightly outpaced here. I'm just glad you're playing something I own. Can't afford to get more games. Nice. How are you enjoying Astro Knights, Ian? What's this Eternity game I keep hearing about? Maybe it's better, I don't know. So Eternity is the expansion to Astro Knights. So it's Astro Knights Eternity. Who we got? We got player 2. Let's go. Alrighty. I don't like it, but we're gonna shoot 2. Take this down to 38. We're gonna go equip, deal a damage, 37. Attack, 4 damage. I can destroy a card in hand. And the Scrambler, return a fuel card played this way. So this is what we're gonna do. Check this out. We're gonna spend 2 to power up. Now we're gonna activate. We can activate during our main phase. Attack with 2 of our weapons without discarding them. First one we're gonna do here. We're gonna deal 6 damage, taking him down to 31. Nice little tempo infusion right here. And we can return. Oh, I guess we'll have played these. That we return a feel on the equip. So we're gonna then do that. Then we're going to attack and we're going to destroy a power core. Deal 4 damage. Down to 27. Alrighty. Okay, so on the table right now we have 13 damage, 15 damage, which puts Furion at 12. That feels like we could probably start outpacing that, which is nice. We'll see. We'll see. We've got a power core. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully we got a... Oh, we didn't. But I think we're going to have a card draw, and I believe that this is our repeater. I think we'll be okay there. So with Eternity, you can play Zack and Zack. I think so. I don't know what the uniqueness rules are. I probably should, but I don't. Player 2 again. Let's go. Let's go. I kind of wish player 1 was gone, but here we are. Okay, so we just have all power cores. So let's go 6, 10, 13. We're going to destroy a power core. 10, 3. So down to 14 damage on Furion. And we don't have any weapons, which I think is going to be cares. Yes, you can. Multiverse rules. If not, I like that. Yeah. So we're going to spend 4 to power up twice. Just get ready. Because I see ourselves going for that kill here at the end. If we can get those cards back equipped, which we have a pretty thin deck now, right? We're going to have... It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. If we can get the homeworld to power up, we're not gonna outpace Furion though. And Zach's not taking a turn for at least a deck pass because we have both of the player 2 cards, which you can't really see. Sorry, both of the player 2 cards over here in the discard pile. Player 1 is going. Do we ping ping? I don't think we ping ping. I don't know if there's any reason to ping ping. Ah! I'm so happy that these like lock in because I am so like crazy when it comes to like moving. Like I'll tap things and like since these like lock in, we're fine, which is really nice. Okay, we're gonna go 2. Any ally draws a card. We got the ballistic array. 4, 6, 7. I can destroy a card in hand. Any ally may draw a card and then discard a card. We wanted to overcharge that. We're gonna... No, that's 9. I can't pay for that. I'm sorry. I was just like, we'll just buy that. That'll be fine. No, that would be really nice to buy because you gain 2 health, you power up, and the homeworld powers up, which would be really good. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and pay 3. to overcharge this, you can destroy a card in your hand or discard pile. Destroy the power. Your ally may draw a card and then discard a card. You got the Tactical Visor next. So we can draw a card and discard a card. Discard the blaster. That was 3. So we have 3 left. The Tactical Visor. Attack with any player's weapon, increases damage by 1. Place that weapons, then you may destroy that weapon. We'll go ahead and overcharge that. We'll destroy the blaster, increasing its damage by 1, so we'll deal 2. Agree with the inlay boards. Best thing ever. Now, if you nudge your terraforming Mars... Oh, you're done. You're done. You packed the game up. Next tech is the Oracle Hub. Homeworld powers up. Any player may destroy a card in their hand. Pretty happy with that. Discard in that order. And I think we're about to get... It's going to hurt here soon. 2, 4, 5. We do get our Vibrax, which is nice. We're about to take a lot of boss turns. Oh, player 1, we're taking 2 boss turns in a row. No option to deal with it at all. Okay, so we're sitting here with 2 cards in our deck. 3, 4, 5. So this is our next hand. If we use a blaster, right now that's 1 damage. Next hand, we're dealing 6. I think it's okay to use the blaster. I don't know if we will see the blaster again. And if we do, that's not too bad. So we'll go ahead and use the blaster just because I think we are further away from drawing it than the game will last. So there goes the blaster. Vibrax. Attack, deals 6 damage, power up. The homeworld powers up. Be nice to do that. The hardest difficulty mode is dad mode when you hold a screaming, flailing kid while playing a game. Oh, gosh, yeah. Good luck. So 3, I can destroy the top card of a supply deck. Homeworld powers up. Any player may destroy a card in their hand. I'm going to destroy the Oracle Hub. I'm looking for something else. Homeworld powers up. Any ally powers up. We will... Yeah, so that's 3, 4. We'll overcharge here. Homeworld powers up. Any ally powers up. That puts us so that we can deal the lethal damage on Zach's turn. Because we can equip... Or close to lethal damage on Zach's turn. That was big. Because Zach only has 2 money, so if he can power up once, he can activate and deal... Or he can attack with 2 weapons, which is 10 damage. Now we just have to survive. Survive! Oh, we got another bioconverter. The game is not going to last for me to buy anything, I don't think. So I'm just going to go 3 to overcharge the bioconverter again. I'll destroy the blaster. Now we never have to worry about that coming back. Ally may draw a card, then discard a card. And we got the deflector field. The homeworld powers up. Homeworld gains 1 health. So we'll draw a card and discard a card. No, we'll discard a tectonic repeater. Because if we somehow discard the power core, I want to still be able to power up here. Alrighty, boss turns coming in at us. Alrighty. Artillery track goes up. Homeworld suffers 3 damage. Increase the artillery track by 1. Down to 11. Not too bad. Boss turn again, though. So that goes up to 3. Oh, I thought... Yeah, we still have a couple cards in there. Increase the artillery track by 1. Boom. Any player suffers damage equal to the current value of their artillery track if Furion is level 2, destroy this card. Okay, so I have to read because I always forget what happens when we are exhausted. When a player is exhausted, because we are going to be exhausted here. Player's health is reduced to 0. That player is exhausted. Each boss has a special effect that resolves. Exhausted players cannot gain health. When a card deals damage to the player with the lowest health, it deals damage to the non-exhausted player. Players with 0 health are never considered the player with the lowest health. When exhausted player suffers damage, deal twice that amount of damage to the homeworld. If all players become exhausted, the game ends immediately and the players lose. Okay, so we'll take 3, and then we'll deal 1, 2 here. And we are exhausted. The artillery track goes up by 3. Uh-oh. I need to remember to draw cards. Okay, we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Resolve the top card of the artillery deck. Homeworld suffers 4 damage. We're going to be down to 5. 1, 2, 3. Any player with the lowest health suffers 2 damage. We're 1 damage away from losing this game, folks. All we have to do is not draw a boss card. I think if we draw... If we can go... If Christina can go first... Or if we can take 2 player turns in a row... We're feeling real good about ourselves. And not 2 Christina turns. It needs... Zach needs to go once. Zach needs to either go once or twice. Or Christina needs to go and then Zach needs to go. Boss's turn. Oh no. Okay, so we're going to increase there. Give me a minion. It's a minion. Activate. The homeworld suffers 2 damage. That's actually fine. I'm okay with that. Wow, that's just a nail biter. I believe in you. Thank you. Thank you. Alrighty. And we're only at 2. Come on, not a boss turn. It is a boss turn. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this goes up. I think that's probably lethal right there. Activate. Any player suffers 1 damage. The homeworld suffers 2. Down to 3. And we're going to level up to 3. Instant minions in play gain 4 health. Increase the artillery track by 2. 1, 2. Oh, that's on the activate, sorry. But this card could end it all. Player with the most slots suffers 2 damage. I probably should have exhausted Zach because of that. That would have been smart. Yeah, I should have exhausted Zach. Because then, well, no, we would have lost either way. Because it would have been 4 damage too. The homeworld, no! Yeah, the boss took 4 turns in a row. That's tough. That's really tough.